gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. He is the Palestinian ambassador to the UK, so please give it up for Hussam Samlot.
London, Britons, people of the world, friends, it's been more than 200 days. 200 days of genocide, of edicide, of ecocide, of filicide, of murdering and maiming 100,000 innocent Palestinians, including 14,500 children. It's been 90 days. 90 days since the International Court of Justice called on Israel to stop its mass murder and mass destruction. It's been 30 days. 30 days since the UN Security Council called for an immediate ceasefire. Yet, we have more mass murder, more mass graves, more mass destruction, more mass famine. There are people starving. There are children dying from malnutrition, dying in plastic tents, thirsty, because of a heat wave in Gaza. There are families being blown up in their homes, aid workers, health workers, teachers, journalists, poets and engineers, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters murdered daily, and not just in Gaza, but all over occupied Palestine, and not just by the occupying army, but also by the settler terror militias all over the occupied West Bank. And what are governments doing? What are governments doing? Nothing. There is no ceasefire. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. There are no sanctions. Sanctions now. Sanctions now. There are no arms embargo. Arms embargo now. Arms embargo now. And there are no accountability, my friends. There are only excuses from politicians who think the war criminals will investigate themselves. Excuses from politicians who don't even acknowledge that the Palestinian people are under occupation. Justifications from politicians who pretend that genocide is self-defense. This is complicity. This is complicity in war crimes. But politicians must be careful, because the wheels of justice are turning. The wheels of justice are turning. My friends, change may not come from Western governments, but change is coming. Change is coming from Africa, from countries like South Africa, who have suffered decades of racism and discrimination. Change is coming from Asia and Latin America, from countries like Nicaragua, which launched its own investigation in the ICJ against countries complicit in Israel's genocide in Gaza. Countries like Jamaica, who recognized the state of Palestine last week, applaud Jamaica. But most of all, my brothers and sisters, my friends, most of all, change is coming from you. You and the millions like you who have taken to the streets to protest week after week, month after month, for nearly 7 months now, in London, all across the UK, all over the world. Change will come from students in America, students in America, in Europe, in the UK, and all over the world who no longer accept gross injustice. Please join me in applauding the brave students of Columbia, of Harvard, of Yale, of Ohio, of Texas, of NYU, of George Washington, of Edinburgh here, of UCL, all over the world. Change will come, campus by campus, city by city, country by country. And the tide is turning. The tide is turning because this is a global movement for change, a global assertion of popular power, people's power, you power, to remind governments everywhere that they are accountable to you, to each and every one of you. It is a reawakening of the post-war dream of a true community of nations, of global solidarity, equal in dignity and rights. This is Palestine's moment for a global justice. This is Palestine's moment for equality. This is Palestine's moment for freedom and justice. And we all have a choice right now. Where do we stand? What choice do you make? Occupation or liberation? Exile or return? Apartheid or equality? Oppression or freedom? This is the time. This is a moment in history. A moment your children and grandchildren will look at you and ask, where did you stand? And you will tell them, I stood tall and proud with Palestine, with freedom, with liberty, with justice. What do you want? What do you want? When do you want it? Today, and for as long as it takes. Let us not fear. Let us not waver. Let us join forces. There are times when we merely survive, but this is a time when we rise, when we stand up. This is our time to stand up. One people, stand for one another, walk with one another, struggle with one another, and to believe, every one of us believe that there is a better tomorrow for Palestine, for all of us. So raise your voice louder.